What's up, man? It's your boy King. Back again with another vlog, man. So keeping y'all posted, So basically, y'all started getting some of my YouTube equipment in for live streaming and outside streaming. So that's good. Still need a little bit more time on that. About to start my real estate course classes, so it's another 69-hour course that you have to take before you go take the real estate exam. That's like $77, Go ahead and get that, man, Try to go and get your real estate license and become somebody, It's not owning properties is definitely the way to go. But today's video is all about structure. You understand? What is structure? You understand? What is the definition of structure that I'm talking about, So structure basically is how you're built, bro. You understand? What's your laws? You understand? You see how every country got their own laws, When you living in your parents' house, they have their own laws, When you go work for a company, they have their own laws, that you must follow and abide by. You understand? Disrespecting it would cause offense to the law, which can give you a penalty. You understand? So what are your laws? You understand? What are your laws for yourself? Some people might not have laws. Some people be like, man, now that I think about it, I really don't got no laws unless, shorty don't cheat on me. What's not, that's just it, my nigga. Like, nah, like, what are your laws? What's not? That basically means, like, what are your morals? What do you stand for? You understand? What don't you allow? You understand, in your environment? You understand? What don't you, I'm working on my English still, but, what don't you endure? You understand? From other people. You understand? Knowing that, you know that you don't have to endure it, because you can easily cut this person off, or you either say, hey, don't talk to me like that, man. I don't want to hear that. You understand? Or, you could be real serious and be like, hey, don't ever speak something like that to me again, bro. You understand? So sometimes we won't say things like that because it's like, we feel as though like we're going against our nature or some stuff, or we're unlocking a certain part of us that we don't want other people to see. But actually, in all reality, that is the part of you that they need to see. It ain't like you trying to fight. It ain't like you trying to do that. You just standing for what you allow. You just standing for your morals. You just standing for respect. You understand? Some people, they don't understand respect, so they constantly steps on your respect. So if you do not show them where the boundary is in their speech, in their demeanor, in their attitude, you understand, towards you, then they always gonna do it towards you. You understand? Some people, they stand on it. That's why they, you understand, they careful. So you just gotta show them, you understand, that you are a man of character or a woman of character. You understand? So step one by doing that is, for one, is, like I said, your environment. If you know that you come home every day from a long day of work, and you probably have kids or not, and you notice that, your place is not tidy. You understand? Like, you probably got some dishes in the sink because you cooked, you left them sitting inside the sink for like a day, and you be like, oh, I'm gonna wash it like in the morning before I go to work. But then you forget, you understand? Or when it's time to go to work, you probably wake up late and stuff like that. You understand? You won't be able to. Or you have kids that constantly, you understand, make a mess and everything around. That means the kids are a representation of your structure. You understand? No matter how old that they are, you understand? If you are a person with structure and discipline and stuff, that your kids will abide by your discipline. You understand? They learn from you. You understand? From growing up, they see what you allow and what you don't allow. So now, if growing up, they see that, you never really had so much structure. When they grow up, they won't have a lot of structure. And then when they start to grow up and they see that you never had so much structure in the beginning, now when you see they getting older, they start acting just like how you act. You understand? And now everybody's saying, oh, they get it from their daddy. Oh, they get it from their mama. Oh, your mama was just like that. She don't listen. You understand? The mama don't listen because, again, when you met her, you never showed her that you had structure for her to apply to you in a different way. You understand? For her to be more assertive and, aware of what's going on inside your surroundings that you don't like and don't appreciate. You understand? Yeah, you may say you don't like a clean house or this and that, but then if you say you don't like a clean house and this and that, but you never clean the dishes yourself, even when you see 1 or 2, 4 dishes inside there, you just add your plate into the pot instead of being like, you know what? Let me clean this. You understand? You ain't gotta clean it every time, but did you ever did it once? No. So one, you gotta make sure your environment is proper. You understand? So if you live alone, if you live with a woman and stuff like that, you understand? You notice that sometimes, you understand, she is not able to clean. Sometimes she's tired. You understand? Sometimes she don't feel like doing it. Sometimes she's tell you that she's gonna do it later. You understand? If you ask a woman to do something, she say she's gonna do it later. You do it. You don't even have to be like, you making me have to. No, you just get up and be like, okay, you go wash the dishes. You go bring the house. You go mop the house. Then you go sit down. That's structure. You understand? That's what you stand for. If you demand discipline, you show it for yourself. You understand? If she's not willing to give it, you exert it. You understand? Now, cleaning your environment is number 1 for mental health. You understand? And also health to the heart. You understand? Because now that shows your health, your mind, and your heart that you're willing to, you understand, change what you don't like. You understand? That's step 1. Step 2, you understand? What do you want to be when you grow up? You understand? Structure is all about the future goal. You understand? So who are you? Who do you want to be in the future? You understand? No matter what age you are, bro. 50, 40, 60, what you want to be, man. You understand? You still have time to make it. What's 2 years of investing inside yourself to do a whole turnover, a whole 360 in your life? You understand? I'm guarantee you understand? If you invest 2 years in your life applying structure, that could change your whole life, my boy. Literally, So if you have a goal of who you want to be and what you want to be, watch videos on it first. Don't just be like, oh man, I want to do this, but damn, I already know they charging this and that money to train and this and that. You understand? Watch a video first. You understand? Watch a video to see if you're even interested. You understand? Put on the video. You understand? Start watching it. You understand? About what you want to do. Now, when you start watching the videos on what you want to do, right? Now it's gonna be like, okay, I know the school charging this and that, but there's a other way around. You understand? You don't have to go to that school. That school is probably just the school that charging you the most right now. You understand? Now you go there, what's not so and so. You probably try to get your certification online if it's something that you could do online. You understand? If it's something that you have to learn in person, you understand? You could go and find investments to get to your future. Like I said, the business LLC, ENI number is the best way for you to invest into your future. You get a bank account. You understand? A business bank account. You put your regular job check inside your business bank account. Now you're making money inside your business. Now, from that point on, you could get approved for credit cards and be able to pay for your school. You understand? And then you just pay off the credit card, the school, your textbooks, all that. And you go in there, you understand? Like, you could do this stuff within 1 to 2 months, man. Easy, you understand? Get in school, stay focused, and boom, you understand? But what if the course that you're trying to learn is cheap? You understand? What if they have 3 different packages? They got a cheap package, which is probably $100. Then they got a deluxe package will come with a textbook and this and that or whatnot. That's $300. And then after then they got the prime package, where it's like you got an agent and this and that and whatnot. But you gotta realize yourself, would you really be using that agent? Would you really be reading them textbooks? Do you have 2 jobs? Do you do 3 jobs? Do you do 4? Do you have time inside your life to be doing all this? I don't know. But if you're watching videos about it, it's going to help you know. It's going to help you know the lingo. You understand? What you want to do, you need to learn the lingo. You understand? So that basically is how they talk, how people in inside that job that you want talk. You understand? That's why I say watch a video. So that way you can see the different terminologies that they use for the craft that they do, and that terminology is the way how you're gonna pass your test. You understand? And if you play them videos over and over and over again, it's gonna sink in. Now you go there, you understand, and then you pay for the cheapest package. You understand? Because at the end of the day, you want to get in. You understand? You don't know if you're gonna be needing all this textbooks and this. Now, if you do, once you pay for the cheapest package, they still gonna have the textbook in there. They still gonna be like, well, you could buy the textbook for $10 or $20. But yeah, they was telling you $300, right, for the deluxe. That's why I said there's always a way around. If you don't know something, ask ChatGPT. You understand? It's an AI that's embedded with all the information of the world, bro. You understand? It will let you know, you understand, different routes that you could try to get in, different ways that you could get qualified to be in. You understand? I was not. So that's why I say, like, you gotta do your research. You understand? You gotta be willing. If you searching on Google and you can't find it, man, if I have something in my mind that I just can't think about, and I'm searching and I can't find, first thing I do before I said, let me go to Google, I said, let me go to ChatGPT, my nigga, ChatGPT. Yo, you understand? Like, what's this? How do I set up my business credit line? ChatGPT be like, well, first you open up a bank account. No, they be like, first you apply for the IRS, then you get a Brazilian account number. Then after you apply for ITN number, then you open up a bank account. And then once you open up a bank account, you put revenue in. Revenue is your job. You understand? Then, from that point on, you go to different credit unions, and these credit unions give loans to small businesses. Just apply. You understand? Now you follow those steps, you're gonna get it. You understand? Even if you get denied, you understand? That's just one person that denied you. You understand? Try another one. Try it again. You already got the business ENI number. You just need to get approved for one credit to show them. Once you get approved for one credit, how you gonna grow that one credit to get more credit? The underdog. That's who you are, bro. You're the underdog, man. Don't give up. Don't give up when it get hard, bro. Don't start when it get too difficult. You understand? Push through it, my boy. I guarantee you, that final push that you do, bro, you can break something, bro. And once you break it, bro, you can see on the other side of that door, that glass, what you've been fighting for, bro. You're one more step closer to your goal. But I want to say thank you again to all my subscribers on YouTube. That's where I really post all of my content. Miss Glenn PR TV on YouTube. We are almost at 300. Almost at 300. We 25 subscribers away from 300. We on the way to getting 1K. You understand? On YouTube, getting monetized on YouTube. Once I get monetized on YouTube, then from that point on, I'll be focusing on all platforms. You understand? And everything. So managing getting subscribers on all platforms is way easier. You understand? YouTube is the most difficult one. But, we're making it work. We're pushing. The channel is going to be about 2 weeks old on Friday. So we almost hitting 300. That's perfect. So stay tuned. Like I said, there's going to be giveaways once I get monetized. You understand? iPhone 17, iPads, you understand? Laptops, you understand? Cash giveaways, you understand? So, hey, stay tuned for these stuff, you understand? For every 500 subscriber that leave a comment on my video, they will be winning the giveaway. So, let's get back to the topic, man. Now, even though it's your environment, make sure your environment clean, bro. You understand? It's tidy. You make sure when you get up out of bed, you understand? The first thing you do when you get out of bed, even if you got a shorty, bro. Bro, I'm just trying to show you something, bro. Even though you got a shorty, bro, you understand? You're the man, right? You're the man. You understand? She must follow you. She must do what you say, my boy. At all times. She'll sleep. She'll be up. All of that. If you're an early bird, she has to be an early bird. You understand? Because that's just what's in your structure. So if you wake up in the morning and you take a shower and stuff like that, you understand? And you go there, you make sure before you take a shower, you put your uniform outside to go to work. And you go there, you take a shower, you come back. Oh, you understand? You probably do a workout in the morning before. Like, once you finish doing all of that, and you say, bro, it's time for me to go to work. And you go to leave this crib, bro, in like 5 to 6 minutes. First thing you do, you say, baby, get up. She has to get up, you understand? You gotta get her up, you understand? Because if you leave, she's gonna stay asleep for another 2-3 hours. No. We're structured in this house, baby. Get up, you understand? Now, when she get up, you fix your bed, bro. Because you cannot leave it like that, bro. Because of your structure, you organize your bed. Now, if she go and decides to lay on the bed, no problem. But guess what? You made her get up, right? It's all about exerting power, bro. Men, it's all about exerting power, bro. The more power that you exert in your discipline and your structure, you understand? That is going to give you your dopamine, you understand? That's going to motivate you. That's going to show you to keep pushing and go far in life just because of the small things that you do for yourself, bro. Things that you won't tolerate, bro. You understand? Things that you implement in your life. You understand? Now, you understand? That's gonna give you a voice, you understand? For when you need to be heard, you can speak up, you understand? Because you already been speaking up, you understand? When something is being done, but you have to have an open mind to your kids. You have to have an open mind to your woman. You cannot tell your woman what she can and cannot do. That's not structure, you understand? But you can tell them what they cannot and cannot, what they can and cannot do to you. That's structure, you understand? It's what you allow to yourself. You understand? It's all about you. You understand? They could do as they please, like they say. They have their own mind, their own body, and their own spirit. But if they are in your environment and you're the leader, you're in charge, they gotta follow your structure. They gotta follow your rules, you understand? If your kids see every morning that you wake up and stuff like that, and what's not, you fixing the bed and everything like that, they see you doing your workout and what's not, you know what's gonna start happening? If you start doing this and when you have your first child is gonna start waking up in the morning. You're gonna be like, oh. He go outside to try to get some milk, some food, use the bathroom or some stuff like that. Before he even turn on the TV, you be like, let me see who's outside. Let me see if my mama them up yet before I go do some stupid shit. You understand? So now, he go outside and he see you in the living room. You be like, it's my daddy. Oh, daddy's working out. Or mama. Mama still asleep. You understand? But was not. When he see later on, when you freshen up and stuff like that, he probably be outside. You understand? Just because he see you outside, he probably just go outside to chill with you and talk to you some stuff. You understand? Or he might be like, I want to work out too, daddy. That's the dopamine coming inside his system. He's excited because he see you doing something new. Like, I want to be like you. I want to do that. You understand? I want to work out. You understand? But you don't let him do what you do. You let him start small. You probably be like, all right, do some squats. You understand? You let him do a piece of your workout and stuff like that. You understand? Do some squats. Do some push-ups. You understand? Or get some very light weights. You understand? That he could just lift. You understand? Or some stuff. Why is he with you? Some very light, tiny weight. So he feel like he a part of the team. When he grow up, that's exactly what he's going to be doing. He's going to be structured. He's going to wake up in the morning. He's going to be waking up early in the morning, working out. He's probably going to start studying early by watching YouTube videos on stuff that he want to be when he grow up and stuff like that. Just because he see that's what you do. You understand? you think about it, monkey see, monkey do. What are human beings? We was a part of monkeys too. Oh, damn. That shit crazy, man. Bro, how you be coming up with this shit, cuz? I'm just telling you, cuz. This real shit that I speak from the heart, bro. You understand? And like I said, the business LLC is the best way to live, because it's like, bro, even if you're not trying to start a business and you just want to live comfortably, access to those amount of funds and credit lines is exactly what you need, bro. If a rainy day reach and you gotta pay for something, boom, get that. If you want to go and get a car off a lot, you got $20K in a credit card, you go to the car dealership, you pay that shit in full, and then you pay off your credit card. Now you only gotta pay off your credit card, my nigga. You understand? I ain't like you gotta pay that $20K back. You know it's payments, bro. Seeing payments that you would have been doing at the motherfucking dealership, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm just trying to show you that when you pull up anywhere, bro, you understand? You the man, bro. You understand? You clearing your shit, cuz. You clearing it, bro. You just pay your shit off, cuz. You understand? Meanwhile, you paying this shit off, your bread just leveling. Bro. It's all about structure and discipline, bro. Know what you can do. Know what you have access to. Know how to manage your wealth. You understand? Every day, I write if there's 12 months in a year. If there's 12 months in a year, why you not calculating how much money you make every month? If you get paid every week, why you not calculate? Why you not going inside your notes and be like, you know what? I got paid every 2 weeks. I got paid. I got paid $1,400 this week. You understand? Nah, the next 2 weeks I got paid $1,397. You understand? You add that in, it'll be about $2,797. You understand? That's how much you made in a month. $2,797. You do it again the next month. What you do is you don't be like, oh, this one I made this one I made that. You do a plan. January to December. And every time you get paid, you add it to the amount that you had in there already. You understand? You keep on adding it. Then when the end of this year reach on December and you get your last check, you're gonna know the total amount of money that you made in that year. Now you're gonna know how much your annual growth spurt actually is. You understand? Instead of you, I think I made $1,400, $1,500, but some days it could be short. You understand? Some days it could be more. How would you know if you're not tracking, bro? And then you also got rent and all that type of stuff. How would you know how much money that you're supposed to be paying for rent in the year if you're not calculating, bro? If you're not being like, okay, I make this amount of money, I have this amount of income coming every year. Now my rent is about $1,200, $1,500. You understand? Times that by 12. You understand? And then you get this amount. You understand? And then subtract this amount from the annual growth that you make in a year. Now you get how much money you could spend in the year. So that way you don't ever find yourself in debt or broke. You understand? Now, once you know how much money that you making in a year, how much money you can spend in a year, how much money your rent is in a year, you should calculate that, and you know what your spending power is. You're like, damn, I probably might need a little gig, bro. You understand? I might need me a little part-time job, maybe a little 4-hour, 3-hour job, you know, just to put a little extra inside that, and you calculate that with it. You understand? Now you know how much money you need to bring in, so that way you could make some shit happen, bro. It hurts me, bro. It's hurt me because it's like, I came from the shelter too, bro. I was in and out of the shelter from the age 20 till the age 23. Back and forth, bro. You understand? Till I started putting respect on myself, bro. Till I started changing what I don't like. You understand? Instead, I started stop tolerating the intolerable, bro. You understand? Make that change. You have to make that decision, and the first step is by cutting out what annoys you, cutting out what disrespects you. You understand? And doing what brings you enlightenment, bro. Doing what brings you dopamine to your brain. That's the power right there, bro. You was blessed with the ability to create. That's why you got a family. What makes you think having a family stop you from creating wealth? Stop you from creating a life that your kids could be happy for, a life that you could be happy for, bro. You gotta show them, you're in my environment. I work hard to pay for all of this. This is why you live in comfort. And when he grows up, he's gonna have the same mentality. Again, thank you again for listening to Miss Glenn PR TV, dog. Be back again with another video, alright?